According to a study conducted by IBM, the most important skill that predicts the success of an individual or a business is not communication, it's not problem solving, it's not even being an intellectual wizard. It is creativity. According to another study, 75% of people surveyed did not think they were living up to their creative potential. By the end of this video, I hope to leave you with an understanding of what is creativity, why it's important, and how we can incorporate more creativity in our personal and professional lives. When I left school at the age of 17, I told myself I wasn't creative. Despite the fact I had started a clothing line, I started an event company, I was interested in different artistic fields. Like most of society, we are indoctrinated out of our creativity. Picasso says, all children are born artists. The problem is remaining an artist as we grow. Creativity is the use of the imagination to come up with new ideas, to come up with new connections. It is the act of combining connections that have never been made before. Creativity is a priceless asset regardless of what field you're in. You can be creative in your personal life, you can be creative in problem solving, you can be creative in your relationship. Even if you're in a 9-to-5 job, you can find creative ways to make your job more fulfilling, more enriching. Creativity is priceless in all aspects of life. And here are 5 practical, real life and attainable ways that you can become a more creative person. Number 1, turn off your phone. You know those times in between doing things you would pick up your phone? Ever wondered what happens if you didn't? Those times are called seeds. These are the times where ideas come to party. Spend more time doing nothing. Before bed, waiting on something, on a bus, on the toilet. Let your mind dive into imagination. Let your mind form connections. According to Stephen Johnson, ideas don't happen spontaneously. Ideas happen over time in our subconscious. That's why majority of people who come up with the ideas don't actually come up with ideas when they're working. They come up with the ideas when you're walking, or when they're in the shower, or when they're having meals. You have to create space for ideas to come. We live in a world where we can't even go to the toilet without taking our phones. That is a problem. If you're somebody that wants to become creative, you have to create space in your life. Number 2, become a sponge. Despite what you may think, the best creators are not the ones who have the most talent. They're not the ones who have the most funds or the best equipment. They are the people with the most range and the most variety in their lives. The best creators, musically, artistically, and even business-wise, have been in many fields. That's why people like Kanye, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk are incredibly successful, not because they're the smartest or the most intellectual people, but because they're sponges and they observe from every life journey they embark on. Every creator knows before you create, you have to consume. Before I started writing, I started reading. Before I started making music, I submerged myself in music. Before I started making a brand and building nothing to the grave, I observed, I listened to a lot of voices I appreciated, and now this is a culmination and an expression of my interpretation of all the things I've learned. You have to become a sponge. You have to observe. You have to read, taste new things, try new foods, search for new experiences. The most impactful people are the people that have the most variety in their lives and the people that have explored the most fields. If you think that you have to specialize, that's actually one of the most common myths. Even Michelangelo had a multi-disciplined life. Most people who are successful are people who are multifaceted. You have to become a sponge. Number 3, which is very practical, but it's free association. What does the color red remind you of? You could say Red Riding Hood, you could say anger, you could say blood, you could say vampires, you could say ninja. Free association is looking past the first things that come to your mind. This opens your mind because we all look at things in a one-dimensional manner. Free association is diving into your mind and seeing what connections happen, and you never know what could be born from just associating things and looking what your mind can make connections out of. You have to be able to put new things together. That's literally what creativity is. Creativity is combining ideas that have never been combined before, and you have to exercise this. Again, this is a skill. Number 4, capture your ideas. Tiago Forte says this is like having a second brain. I'm constantly typing on my phone. When I go out to concerts or shows or events and people see me on my phone, they might think I'm texting, but I'm actually capturing ideas. I'm observing, which is also a bonus tip. You have to observe what's around you, your surrounding. I'm capturing ideas because once this idea goes, you may never find it again if you don't capture it. Nothing to the Grave, the name of this brand popped into my head 4 years ago. I never knew what I was going to use it for, but now this is the platform I'm using to express the message and hopefully help people because I captured my ideas. You need to capture your ideas. And number 5, which is incredibly practical, make it a habit. And just like practicing guitar, building a reading habit, building a fitness habit. Being creative and building a habit of creativity is just like any other skill. You have to exercise it. Write down often. I wake up every morning, the first thing I do is do 50 minutes of free writing and 50 minutes of reading. I need to start my day and prime my mind to look for connections. These are the things that will make your mind more alive than other people's. Most people's minds are gray, but if you are a more creative person, you're going to see life in different colors. You're going to see different connections everywhere. That's one of my strengths. My strengths is not the fact that I'm talented or gifted in any particular field. My strength is the fact that I'm a sponge and I'm an eclectic person, and I've had so many experiences, and I'm also welcome to experiences all the time. And this only makes the well of connections I can pull from deeper and deeper and deeper. So you have to become a sponge. You have to make it a habit. Make it a habit. Thank you. Everything starts in the mind. Everything starts with what you can imagine. Make sure to subscribe to Nothing to the Grave for more tips and more cool discoveries we find. And thank you for watching. My name is Jesse Ojuka, and this is Nothing to the Grave. I'm out.